The head medical examiner for Seminole County, this medical examiner did not examine the body of Trayvon Martin, but instead is working off reports and has described George Zimmerman's injuries to his head as minor. And now the defense attorney continues questioning. Let's listen.
Times could the back of the head have been hit on the cement?
Well, to me it was consistent with one, but you suggested by turning the head in different ways it could be two as possible.
3 or 4?
With no injury, yes. If the head is in contact producing no injury, yes.
How about the swelling below the lacerations? Did you notice that?
The contusion.
Below, right.
The contusion, yes.
Could that have been a separate injury?
No, it's possible.
Well, if the head was hit so that just the crown hit the cement one time, let's say his head just snapped back and it hit here, that could have caused one of the lacerations, correct?
Yes, but it's so close to each other. That's the proximity that really kind of makes it possible.
Okay, I appreciate that. So if the head was tilted one way and then smacked back so that this was the crowning point, that would be one laceration injury, correct?
It's possible.
And then if the head was this way, another laceration injury, correct?
That's possible.
And then if I was able to resist one of the tossbacks of my head, I can actually keep the crown higher, and that back bruising that you just identified could have occurred, right?
It's unusual because, you're talking about a flat surface. So the head will have to be really contorted to be able to give you all those injuries from different impacts.
Change it now that it's not the cement, okay? Change it that it's here. Change it that what was hitting, that the bruise on the bottom wasn't flat, that it was against the side. Would that cause the bruising down here without the lacerations?
Yes or no? The side of what?
The side of the cement. You know that it was a cement sidewalk, correct?
Yes.
And you know that they were at the very edge of it, correct?
Yes.
So you know that there is, in fact, an edge of cement, correct?
It's possible.
I'm sorry?
The injury is possible, like you are suggesting. Yes.
Well, here's the cement, and we've been talking, discussing as though all the injuries are on the flat surface, right?
Correct.
So let's introduce now that there could have been some injuries here.
You don't object to that as facts, not in evidence.
Hypothetical with an expert overall.
It's possible.
Okay. So the possibility is that the head being hit against the cement could easily, the two lacerations above may not have ever impacted again when the bottom bruising occurred, right?
That's possible.
Okay. Mr. Guy focused you on life-threatening injuries, right?
Correct.
Did they suggest to you in your testimony that this had anything to do with life-threatening injuries?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What is that?
Did the State Attorney's Office, when they prepped you for your testimony here today, suggest to you that life-threatening injuries was an element of anything having to do with this case?
No.
Okay. You understand that the extent of injuries are not significant in this case, do you not?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay. You understand that the extent of any injuries that Mr. Zimmerman incurred in this attack have nothing to do with the case itself, correct?
You don't object to that as calling for a legal conclusion.
Rephrase your question, please.
I will. Were you prepared for the examination to identify whether or not you could testify that there were life-threatening injuries or not?
No.
Okay. None of these injuries that you identified, as they turned out, were in fact life-threatening, were they?
Correct.
What about the next injury?
The what, sorry?
The next injury.
What is that?
The next injury he would have sustained.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Could the injury that he didn't have to survive Could that have been life-threatening?
Object to that as calling for speculation.
Sustained.
I might just have a moment, Your Honor.
Well, this is a bit tedious, isn't it? Again, Shepard Smith in New York, as the defense lawyer for George Zimmerman, is questioning the medical examiner who did not examine George Zimmerman about the extent of his injuries. Now, on direct examination, this medical examiner, the head medical examiner in Seminole County, Florida, where Sanford is, testified that these are minor injuries. That's how she classified them. You can bet that on redirect, they'll try to get a witness to say